Hey everyone, Commando here again, back with another random YouTube video that apparently I shift from basketball to Spider-Man to something else, but today we're going to do a little something different. We're going to do Formula One. I know, I'm American and yet I like Formula One. And apparently McLaren's fallen on hard times again as we are taking one of their most legendary vehicles along with another one which I shall reveal shortly into apparently this abandoned industrial park. But anyway, what we have here is the McLaren Mercedes MP4-20. So 2005 season of Formula One was an intricate one, and I feel this is once again another time when Kimi Raikkonen was robbed of a title, unfortunately because of his team. I always liked Kimi Raikkonen when I started watching F1 seriously back in the early 2000s. Always loved him. Thought he was a great driver, fast driver, and didn't give a shit what he said to you. Now he still doesn't to this day. But this car is possibly my most favorite F1 car of all time. It's up there. And, well, we're going to be test driving it with myself, obviously. But we're going to be comparing it to another 2005 F1 car. And that's going to get shipped to this screen at this point now. And here it is. The Renault R25 championship, not just one championship, both driver and constructors world championships of 2005 for the Formula One season, with the driving being done by Fernando Alonso. God, what the hell was that? And arguably another one of my favorite cars, not as so much as the McLaren's, but you can't deny the greatness that was this car. And the reason that these cars are so successful is just the determination by both drivers to be as fast as possible and to get wins as fast as possible. And unfortunately, in Raikkonen's case, this car was the more superior one. Without trying to keep this on this particular car for too long, let's just go ahead and say that reliability was the main reason that this car won, along with the fact that Alonso, well, he was a hell of a driver. We can't deny that. So, but anyway, we're gonna drive this one first, and we're gonna read off the specs here in my handwritten notes because I don't like doing scripts by computer apparently. But anyway, so the Renault R25 was designed by Robert Bob Bell. I guess this is his crowning achievement because he wasn't the most successful designer that F1 has ever seen. But hey, when you design a world championship car, you have pretty much bragging rights, I guess. It's powered by Renault's 3.0 liter V10 naturally aspirated engine with around estimated 920 brake horsepower and a 7-speed sequential transmission along with reverse and neutral. This car was, as I've already said, it was driven by Fernando Alonso and Giancarlo Fisichella. The R25 achieved 8 total wins, all but one of those going to Alonso, while the first race of the season went to Giancarlo Fisichella in surprising fashion. Amassed a total of 17 podiums and won both driver and constructors world championships, with, of course, Alonso claiming his first world championship. The main reason that Alonso beat Raikkonen to the championship was, once again, Raikkonen's car was not as reliable as Alonso's, at least for this particular instance. I say that Raikkonen had one more retirement than Alonso did. Raikkonen had a total of 2 to Alonso's 1. And unfortunately, Raikkonen's first 2 races of the season were 8th and 9th respectively, while Alonso's were 3rd and 1st, along with that one less retirement that essentially doomed Kimi Raikkonen's chances once again to win a world championship, similar to that of 2003, with the only difference being it was Ferrari and Michael Schumacher being Kimi Raikkonen once again. There was also the fiasco of the 2005 United States Grand Prix, but neither car got points in that event, so that's kind of defunct. But those are the spec sheets for the Renault R25, and when I read off the spec sheets for the Mercedes McLaren Mp4-20, you may understand why that reliability was not as good as, say, this particular Renault. But anyway, we're going to skip to fade out or whatever, and we're going to head to Imola, because I love Imola, and I think it's the perfect track to drive these cars on. And we're going to take the Renault R25 out for the spin first. Then we'll hop in the Mercedes, and we'll compare lap times, but I'm going to see which one has certain characteristics. This isn't so much a time trial. We know which is faster in certain areas and other areas, but I want to see the feel of the car and what maybe have made these cars what they were. So anyway, we're going to phase out through here, and we'll see you at Imola. Alright, here we are in Imola, already in the driver's seat, ready to go. The pit board holder, he looks aware as always. If the audio is a little off, I'm going to turn up the mic gain just a tad to make it myself a little louder. Yes, that's my Steam name, Rusty Shackelford, the true American hero from King of the Hill. And fitting because I'm American and I know nothing about road racing, allegedly, so that's a stereotype, right? But no, we're going to go ahead and do this puppy, and we're going to get a feeling of what the Renault R25 feels like. And away we go. Let's go. Get some heated tires. Listen to that engine. I'm going to let you experience this in all its joy while I try to talk. Look how fast we get up to speed. Down the Chamarilla. And this is the, I guess, current layout of Imola, if you want to call it that. But I prefer the old one, but safety. Now notice we only got up to 6th gear, as I mentioned earlier. That probably played a factor in Alonso winning this championship more than anything. But I'll explain that towards the end, or at least get on this warm-up lap. But I believe that the less gear obviously helped him at more intermediate tracks, if you want to call them that, and not necessarily high-speed ones like this, where the McLaren obviously was, well, you could say this is high speed, but it has corners like that where they're very tight and up to the chicane here. And by the way, there is no setup on this car. It's raw as your mother. But I can already tell I do love the way it feels. Just feels in control. Get down to 2nd gear. Stay down there. Alright. First warm-up lap. Let's go. With the coronavirus on full swing, making everybody afraid, I want F1 back here this year. Alright, here we go. Get down to 3rd gear. Probably not my best braking and turning, but we're gonna go with it. It's just so much more stable though. And there's a little trick in here. There was an active suspension, or an active a damper in the nose of this car that gave it better overall grip because it kept the car much more level. That's why you don't see this car shake as much. Like right there, it's just so much more controllable. It does feel a little weird not to get to 7th gear. Oh, there it is. That's okay. Alright, we'll get the tires nice and warm. We'll get them on the gravel now. Get some dirt on them. It's alright. So I don't like to talk when I'm doing this, but we'll make an exception to that rule. It's still weird to see a 2005 Formula 1 car not get up to 7th gear, but that's what Renault wanted to do, and it worked for him. Alright. I'm going to get down to the last bit here, and then we're going to start really focusing. 3rd gear, 2nd gear. Alright, let's go! A little off track there, it's alright. Now, time for the flying lap, let's do it! God, listen to that noise. a second. Right through the gears and go, nice and smooth. Cut the corner a little bit, it's alright. Very smooth. I love it. This is a very smooth car. A very smooth car. Be a pussy. Come on. Back in it. That's alright, we'll go a little wide. On the second gear, get some launch off the corner. Up the hill to the chicane. I'm a pussy, but that's how I drive with these things. This gear. On the second. Alright. Gonna go exit off the corner here. There we go. Last time, 121.9. Alright. Well, I gotta say, the initial impressions of that was this is a very stable car, especially if you are focused, and that's a good thing. I love it. Feels very good to drive. Alright, so the magic of editing, we're now going to cut and head to the McLaren Mp4-20. Boom! Alright, and now we jump cut to the beautiful McLaren Mercedes. Now, go ahead and as you listen to the drone of the noise on this one, I'm going to try and talk over it, but I really don't care. You can listen to the background engine noise while I read it off. So anyway, the McLaren Mercedes MP4-20, designed by legend designer Adrian Newey, was powered by an Elmore-built Mercedes-Benz engine that was naturally aspirated at 930 brake horsepower as a 3.0-liter V10 block and 7-speed transmission, which is what gave it its incredible power down straights. Driven by Kimi Räikkönen and Juan Pablo Montoya, legend, the MP4-20 was driven to a total of 10 wins, with 7 of those going to Räikkönen and 3 going to Montoya, with 17 podiums total between those two, as was the R-25. So, what doomed this car? Again, we've already mentioned it, reliability for one extra race, and the fact that Kimi, for at least the driver's side of things, had 2 bad finishes to start out the season compared to Alonso. It would not have won the Constructors' title because Montoya was even having a worse season, but the driver's title could have gone to Kimi Räikkönen. So, yeah, that sucked for Kimi. I don't know what to tell you. But, as an Elmore engine in it, they built amazing engines in IndyCar, especially particularly the legendary one for Roger Penske in Indy 500 in the mid-90s. And, like I said, it's a good comparison because this has Michelin tires as well, along with the R25. So, instead of hearing my voice drone on about this damn thing, and you having to ignore my voice for the engine noise, we're just going to get right into it, and we're going to see what we can do with it. So, we're in it. Oh, it's already powerful. It's ready to go. It's going to be a hell of a car to drive, I can tell you that. All right, let's go. Oh! No need to go to second gear on this one. Oh, I'm afraid to get back on the power. Yep, you can already tell it's... Oh! You gotta be a special kind of driver to drive this thing. Tire. Going down second gear is a bit risky, but we're going to try it. Oh man, listen to that engine. It wants to. There we go, come on. This is only the warm-up lap. That's how I know how to drive, is just get the heat in the tires and get a rhythm. Overcorrected, overdid it. It's just one of those things you just don't know. Probably not braking hard enough, but Again, that's how I know how to drive a lot of these road cars, is early braking. Probably no need for second gear here as it revs up quickly. Here we go. Alright, first of the 2 hot laps. Still essentially a flying lap, but we're going to deal with it. Sorry I didn't say anything there, but I'm just focused. No need to go down to third for that one. Come on. There you go. Focusing really hard now. Because it has more power, I do feel like I have to stop a little bit sooner than the Renault. Said Renault. Oh boy. Nope. Same thing as the Renault again. Ah, man. Same thing. Yep. There's just certain parts I have to focus on. I cannot talk and drive like that. Just can't. When I'm racing these things, I don't usually talk that much. So, you know, made myself look like a daft American, didn't I? Half my family's from England, I can get away with saying shit like that. Some gear. Down to third. Alright, we're gonna be brave. Down to second, we're gonna be brave. Alright, let's get some power, come on. Let's not fuck up this lap. We did, we're going out for another one. God, the power! Beans. There we go. Ship down to third. Get the run off. Come on. Fifth. Probably doing more damage to the transmission, but whatever. Run. A little wide, but we're going to go with it. Careful here. Let's get through it. Little cut there, it's alright. Not gonna be perfect. Down to third. Down to second. Time to be brave. Come on, Ilmore! So I think I ran a 121.9 in the Renault, and this I ran a 122.6. And as is customary, I come here. It's not the exact spot, but I come here to honor the memory of Ayrton Senna. But, whew. That was tough. So, instead of doing a jump cut, we're just going to head back and just go look at the clear winner on this one. 122, at least in this case. And I have other mods too. What was the practice time I ran for this? That was for the McLaren. So, but anyway, go to the showroom and express some final thoughts on this. But if I had to say anything about the cars, the Renault R25 is definitely more controllable. It's definitely smoother. And even though you would think it's slow, it's not. because with even though it has maybe perhaps 10 less horsepower than the McLaren does, that 10 less horsepower may have helped it be effective. But not to mention that up front on the nose there, like I mentioned earlier, was a mass damper that essentially kept the car nice and level. Now, I do not know if McLaren ever had that. I have not done enough research on that. But there's a reason that this car won as much as it did and was so good. That's not to say that the MP4-20 was not a great car in itself. To drive that car, you had to be a world championship level of talent. And it just so happened that Raikkonen was that. He unfortunately just did not win the championship that year, nor in 2003 when he was, in my opinion, the better driver. But it's a team sport. Driver can be talented all they want. If you have a crappy car, you're not going to do anything. So, thus ends this particular comparison video. And I think I'm going to do this again. Not sure. This might go up first. Might not. But I believe the next one I'm going to do is the 2007 Ferrari F2007 and the 2007 McLaren Mp4. Let's see, Mp4-2025, I believe. If my number, not 25, Mp4-23. So you're 22 or 23. Yeah, they confuse me sometimes. My memory's not the best, but those will be two. And then, of course, I have multiple mods and everything like that as far as for comparison. The 97 Williams FW19 and the 97 Ferrari. Probably do a comparison on those. And yeah. And I also have another pack that's part of the ACFL 1994 mod that has all the 94 F1 cars. So a Williams FW16 versus the Benetton of that year. I think I got some material to work with, but gotta say, that Renault, it's very good to drive, and it's definitely better for me than the Mercedes, but the McLaren Mercedes is just a much more fun car to drive. Makes you on the edge of your seat, and with the right setup, I think it'll be faster than that, but that's not for me to decide. At least not yet. Anyway, hope you enjoy this, and I'm going to leave you with a little bit of a replay for the R25, I believe. So, hope you enjoyed.